Our last award tonight is our Wings of Freedom Award. It's not an award we give out every year. It's the highest honor presented by the American Printing House for the Blind. It was established to recognize and honor individuals who have demonstrated exemplary leadership to the field of blindness and low vision. So I'm going to talk a little bit about our award winner, Larry Skutchan. First of all, and most importantly, the reason why I stand before you tonight in a bow tie is because of Larry. Larry wore a bow tie almost every day to work. And I said, if Larry can tie a bow tie without seeing, I'm going to learn that. So he inspired me, and so to this day, Larry, almost every time I put on a tie, it's a bow tie. And that's in honor of Larry. But he did some really important stuff besides just nurturing me. So let's talk about that. First of all, I'm going to tell you the contributions to the field are too numerous to mention. But when you look at the current marketplace, Larry, your impact can be seen in so many ways. We're talking about indoor navigation. Larry was one of the pioneers in indoor navigation, and we took his invention of Nearby Explorer and spun that off into a separate company called Good Maps, which has become the flag bearer for indoor navigation. Larry was a big believer in the dissemination of free apps, and I remember having conversations more than once about we've got to recoup some money, and Larry's response was no, everything needs to be open and free and shared. Larry led the charge for low-cost Braille, and something that was the force behind coupling 10 different countries, 10 organizations representing 9 different countries, all starts the same, but people from all over the world to get together and come with this singular idea of low-cost Braille, and the Orbit 20 was launched. Many of you have seen the Mantis. I don't know how many times I told Larry no about the Mantis, or how many other times members of the product advisory committee said, Larry, that'll never sail, don't do it. And then finally, when Larry was close to the end of his career, we just let's throw him a bone. Let's do something nice for Larry. And he's a country gentleman. He never said, I told you so. But that has been one of HumanWare and APH's best products ever. And it has impacted the globe. A year ago, just to give you an example of that, our highest sales totals for the Mantis, the biggest sale, this was in the month, this was winter, I think of 21, was in Eastern Europe and Russia. And just hundreds of units being sold to the community there, and the response has been overwhelming. So I'm throwing some other things out there. Automated screen access program. It was a screen reader for DOS back in the early days when there wasn't such a thing. Many of you remember his podcast, Blind Cool Tech Podcast. Yes, right? My first year as president, I was at the NFB convention, and Larry and I were walking down the hall together, and these parents came up and it said, are you with APH? And I'm like, yes, I'm the president. And the kids come up and they're like, do you know Larry? I'm like, yeah, I know Larry, so I went and got Larry. And, so very humbling moment when you realize that you're not all that, but Larry definitely was. A hero to so many people, so many students, and I know there are so many students that have moved into the field of tech because of his early influence on their lives. Oh, Larry, what else have you done? Let's see. Oh, my gosh. Speaking speller, text talker, pro words. He is one of the editors to BAUD, the Blind Apple Users Discussion Group. We already talked about ASAP, Automatic Screen Access Program. Talking Typer, Learning Keys, Talking Word Puzzle, Studio Recorder, the Mobile Manager, which allowed blind users to download books wirelessly, the Braille Plus 18, which was the first Android Braille note-taking PDA won an FCC award for its ingenuity and its creativity, and the only problem with the device is Android couldn't keep up with it. And it became one of those things because it was a device ahead of its time. It really was, and we had to, I talked earlier about sometimes you have to sunset. That was a hard decision to set that product aside because we knew about the potential of it, but you had a society that couldn't keep up with it. Mobile Manager, we talked about that. Nearby Explorer, we talked about that. Orbit Reader 20, and it just went on and on and on. And Larry is this kind, gentle, immovable force that would just push people. He took a team. He had this amazing team. I didn't really have a description, but they're Larry's merry men that all lived down in the basement. And Heather. Heather had the, that's right, Heather McKenzie, rock star. She had the unenviable task of trying to keep, how many people you had on the team, Larry?
It was 22.
22. Heather had to corral and herd all of them. So you're herding programmers. Heather will get an award for that someday. But Larry always made sure that team was focused, they were on point, they knew the mission, and it always was about access. It was always about the world bigger than APH. In fact, several times it's like, this should be an APH thing, and it's like, no, it's bigger than that. When I came to APH, I knew partnerships were going to be sorely needed, and partnerships had to be formed if we were ever going to be successful as a company and break out of our shell. And Larry was the most eager recruit of that because he had partners lined up down the block. So Larry, I want to say thank you for everything you've done, not just for APH, but for the field of blindness. And it is my pleasure to have you come up here so I can present you the Wings of Freedom Award. I'm going to go grab the award real quick. This is a honker, and it's a little bit heavy.
Oh, okay.
And it's got wings that, it's crystal.
Awesome. Wow.
The microphone is yours.
Wow, talk about being humbled. And I am, though, seriously, I'm humbled and honored to be able to accept this prestigious Wings of Freedom Award from APH. This honor is not just a recognition of my efforts, though. It's a celebration of the collective spirit that fuels innovation, accessibility, and inclusivity. I want especially to thank APH for their unwavering commitment to creating a world where blindness is not a limitation. Your dedication to the production of educational materials and technology has changed countless lives, and I really do consider it a privilege to be recognized by an organization that embodies the power of positive change. I also want to recognize the people in this room. Your courage, tenacity, and ingenuity are an inspiration to all of us, and I also consider it a privilege to be associated with such a community that pushes the boundaries and makes it a better place for all of us. Most of all, though, I want to thank the incredible team that I worked with for 35 years at APH. Your support and ingenuity and dedication truly turned dreams into reality, and you were definitely the source of my strength at APH. As we celebrate today, let us remember that accessibility is not about technology alone. It's about a mindset. It's about a mindset of inclusivity and equality. It's about a mindset that does not fear blind people. It's about a mindset that expects a lot more. It's about a mindset that believes in basic human rights like simple Braille labeling on packaged goods and accessible appliances. No, the problem is not technology. The mission is to educate John Q. Public, and I love seeing this the museum taking on that challenge. As we see how technology influences more and more of our lives every day, let us remain vigilant to harness its power to bridge gaps and create opportunities. Opportunities like electronic braille, indoor navigation, and interactive tactile representations are essential. But artificial intelligence, as we've all heard, is upon us now, and we must grasp it by the horns. We've already seen that Be My Seeing AI and what it can do and how amazing it is, but I dream of taking it really to the next step. Why can't we apply that technology that is describing an image to describe an interface we can work with and learn from how we interact with that interface? Let's then move on to taking images from a video source and using AI for our indoor navigation and our outdoor navigation for that matter. Yes, my friends, let us continue to collaborate, innovate, and educate so that every voice is heard, every dream is attainable, and every talent is nurtured. I want to really especially thank American Printing House for the Blind, the incredible team I worked with for so many years, and everyone in this room that believes in the power of positive change. Let this Wings of Freedom Award represent every individual so they can spread their wings and soar to the greatest heights without limitations. Thank you all so much. I'm going to leave that sitting up here for now.
I'll put it on the other table.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Craig.